they have renewed contact with human beings at this time because of the times that are coming.
Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service. Thank you very much. We may be seated. Your Excellency, our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade E.D. Munangagwa, the Chairman of the Council of Ministers and Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable M.G. Diggs from Liberia, the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Zimbabwe, Honorable Ziyambi, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Richard Moyo, Zimbabwe, the Mayor of Victoria Falls, His Worship S. Dlamini, Cabinet Ministers of the Government of Zimbabwe here present, members of ARIPO Council of Ministers here present, the Chairperson of the Administrative Council of ARIPO and Chief Registrar of Companies and Intellectual Property of Zimbabwe, Mr. William Shai, the Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bemanya Pibaze, members of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, representatives of the observer states of ARIPO, representatives of our cooperating partners, members of the media, senior government officials, all protocols observed. My name is Virginia Mabiza. I am the Permanent Secretary for Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs here in Zimbabwe. I'm honored to be your Director of Ceremony for this session. Thank you very much. And at this point in time, allow me, Your Excellency, to introduce to you some of the delegates who are amongst us. I will introduce those distinguished delegates from the government of Zimbabwe. And I will also kindly allow and request the Director General of ARIPO to also do the same with our invited delegates. So I'll start with the Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs from Zimbabwe, Honorable Ziyambi. May I clap for him? Thank you. Honorable Ziyambi is the Minister of Justice, like I have indicated, and you are aware that in Zimbabwe, the portfolio for intellectual property lies with the Minister of Justice. Hence, Honorable Ziyambi is representing us in that regard. We also have Honorable Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution in the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable R. Moyo. Thank you very much, Honorable Moyo. We also have amongst us senior government officials in the government of Zimbabwe. From where you are, we welcome you to this 18th session of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO that is held here in the resort city of Victoria Falls, and it's going to run from the 9th to the 10th of December 2021. Thank you very much. And these are the delegates from Zimbabwe, the local delegates. May I now ask the DG for ARIPO to introduce our invited delegates who are members of ARIPO. Thank you. This side. DG, you can come this side.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, I'd like to thank the MC for giving me opportunity to introduce the other members that have graced our occasion. Allow me to introduce the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice from the Gambia, Honorable Dauda A. Jaro. Allow me to introduce the Deputy Attorney General and the Minister of Justice of Ghana, Honorable Ms. Diana Asonaba Dafar. Allow me to introduce the Deputy Minister of Industrialization and Trade, Namibia, Honorable Vena Veronica Mpingana Sinimbo. Allow me, Honorable, to introduce Honorable Exodus Raukneka Kigane, the Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade from the Republic of Tanzania. Allow me to introduce Honorable Chipoka Mulenga, the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry of Zambia. Allow me to introduce also Permanent Secretaries and Solicitor General duly accredited to represent the Honorable Ministers. Mr. Siboniso Koskona Kambule, the Principal Secretary, the Kingdom of Eswatini. The Solicitor General and Secretary of Justice, Malawi, Mr. Reinek Matemba. And the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Industry and Commerce. He will be arriving later today. He's just landed at the airport, Your Excellency, from Mozambique, Mr. George Fernando Giacos. Your Excellency, those are the honorable ministers present and the Permanent Secretaries and Solicitor General duly accredited to represent the honorable ministers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director General ARIPO, for those introductions. On behalf of the government of Zimbabwe and the Minister of Justice, we welcome you all to this 18th session of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO here in the resort city of Victoria Falls. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed, you are kindly reminded to keep your mask on, to observe the social distance and all other protocols related to the COVID. Thank you very much. At this point in time, I am calling upon our local stars, Ingu Kuko, White Star, traditional dancers, to give us a performance. Whilst we wait for them, the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services, you can also take up the space. If they are not ready, Thank you, ZPCS band. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the Ingukuko White Star traditional dancers. Please come through. They are a local group showcasing local tradition. They also told me they are a revolutionary group. dancers. Let's give them another round of applause. White Star traditional dancers showcasing Zimbabwe tradition. Thank you very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe prioritizes innovation and creativity. Our economic blueprint, the NDS-1, it also puts a lot of emphasis on issues to do with creativity, and it also supports the idea of value addition, beneficiation, and above all, it promotes the awareness and conscientization of intellectual property to all our citizens. Once again, we thank the White Star traditional dancers for that wonderful performance. At this point in time, Your Excellency, allow me to call upon the Honorable Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Matabeleland North Province, Honorable Richard Moyo. Honorable Minister, sir. You can come.
Thank you, PS Isma Pizza. Your Excellency, the President of Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Munangagwa, the Minister of Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, honorable members of the ARIPO Council of Ministers, the Administrative Council, the Director General ARIPO, government officials here present, ARIPO Secretariat, distinguished guests, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to join the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe in welcoming you all to the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO Council of Ministers meeting. As the Minister of State for Matabeleland North Province, I wish to say we are delighted to host this crucial meeting of ARIPO and wishing you a safe stay in this beautiful city of Victoria Falls. The smoke that thunders, as we call it here, is truly a must-see on any visit to Africa, with many varied activities to do in the surrounding area. Matabeleland North Province is a blessed province which boasts of having 10 tourist attraction sites, most of which are within and around Victoria Falls. These are the Hwange National Park, Devil's Pools, Victoria Falls, Zambezi National Park, Davson's Camp, Livingstone Island, George Swing, Zambezi River Cruise, Hwange Safari, and guide tour of Victoria Falls. I urge you all to create time during the course of these meetings to visit these sites. As a province, we are awake to the reality that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused immense disruption and devastation across the whole world, and have continued to emphasize to our people adherence to the COVID-19 preventive guidelines and protocols. I am happy to tell you that Victoria Falls was the first city in Zimbabwe to attain herd immunity following the vaccination of over 77% of its residents in the ongoing countrywide mass COVID-19 vaccination program. The choice to have these meetings in Victoria Falls was deliberate, as Victoria Falls is the World Heritage Site, and to us, a cultural heritage site which manifests our traditional culture expression as a people. We all know that the legal protection and traditional culture expression as intellectual property, IP, already exist in several countries Zimbabwe boasts of rich traditional culture expressions that remain unexploited and which needs to be preserved through intellectual property protection. We are aware that there is a lot of creativity and innovation going on in our academic and research institutions. Yet the benefit of these creative innovation and resourcefulness may not be fully realized and adequately rewarded. This happened due to a lack of awareness on the important role that IP plays in rewarding and promoting creativity and innovation. It calls for deliberations of this nature for member states of ARIPO to explore strategies on how they can benefit more from using intellectual property protection as a strategy to spur economic growth. I'm delighted the efforts that ARIPO continue to make in helping Africa build knowledge-based economy through encouraging research and innovation in the member states. I am confident that your discussion here at the ARIPO Council meeting will help develop ideas for making Africa enjoy more benefits by leveraging IP as a strategy to spur economic growth. I wish you a most productive meeting and deliberation. I thank you, the attendants, Abonga. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution here in Matabeleland North Province. Let us give him another round of applause. Thank you, and indeed, Honorable Minister, a lot of innovation is taking place in this great region. Yes, and it is only through IP that we can harness all the local talent and also get our people to realize the benefits of intellectual property. Honorable Minister, as Minister of Justice and ARIPO, we are pleased to work with your province whenever you find it necessary that we assist you in the field of intellectual property. Thank you very much. At this point in time, Your Excellency, I will call upon the Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bemanya Tobazo, to give us some remarks. Mr. Tobazo, as he comes through, I would like to just pay a few tributes to him. This DG has been here for hardly a year, but a lot has been achieved. And we see that the Kampala Protocol is already in place. It was under his administration that we got to where we are. And we want to thank you, DG. Please come through and deliver your remarks. Let's give him a round of applause as he approaches the stage.
Thank you very much, MC Permanent Secretary. The guest of honor is Excellency Emerson Dambuzo Munangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. The Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Ziyambi. The Minister of State for Matabeleland North Provincial Affairs, Honorable Richard Moyo. The Chairperson of the ARIPO Council of Ministers, Honorable Bawin G. Diggs, MP, Minister of Commerce and Industry of the Republic of Liberia, who is joining us today virtually. Honorable Ministers of the Government of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Ministers of the ARIPO Member States, Permanent Secretaries of the Republic, Permanent Secretary of the Republic of Zimbabwe, members of the Diplomatic Corps accredited to the Republic of Zimbabwe, accredited representatives of the government of the member states of ARIPO, the chairperson of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, Mr. Willie Mushai, members of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, distinguished representatives of government of the observer member states of ARIPO, distinguished representatives of our cooperating partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor to address you at this opening session of the 18th session of the Council of Ministers of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO, which is taking place here in this beautiful resort town of Victoria Falls. At the outset, please allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for hosting ARIPO during this week and for the continuous support to our organization. Your Excellency, on behalf of ARIPO and indeed on my own behalf, I am grateful beyond measure to you for accepting to honor us with your presence and to officially open the 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers. It shows your commitment of this country to the cause of intellectual property and recognition of the important role that ARIPO is playing for the development of intellectual property in its member states and indeed in Africa as a whole. Your Excellency, we are encouraged by your presence, and I want to express my utmost appreciation to you for taking time off your undoubtedly busy schedule. Words cannot express it enough. When it comes to matters of intellectual property, we always know we can count on you. The success of ARIPO has always been your pet project, which it is no small wonder, therefore, that each time I enter the office at the ARIPO Secretariat every morning, I see your name, Your Excellency, emblazoned on the entrance. It's emblazoned because you took particular interest from years ago, so that you are indeed the natural choice to come and officially inaugurate the ARIPO headquarters 5 years ago today. On December 9th, 2016, that's when Your Excellency graced ARIPO by opening that beautiful building. For ARIPO, December 9 is symbolic in many ways, but mostly importantly, the agreement establishing our organization, the Lusaka Agreement, was adopted this date 45 years ago. Your Excellency, during this period, we know that the possibility of holding this event was real, of not holding the event was real. ARIPO remains eternally grateful to Your Excellency for having granted us an exemption to proceed with the governing body's sessions when a number of countries are indeed shutting their doors on this region due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Your Excellency, in many ways, you have availed yourself for our enablement and growth. At times, even without having to say it, you have asked, how can I be of help to ARIPO? Particularly, you have always ensured that your door remains open to us. I wish to especially express my utmost appreciation for the opportunity you gave me as the Director General of ARIPO to pay a courtesy call on you on 23rd November 2021. I was extremely humbled by your warm welcome, and I would wish to thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let me also thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time to be our guest of honor to this cardinal event. Your presence and words of wisdom always help magnify our cause in the best way possible. With so much favor from you, Your Excellency, we know our event will be a huge success. We cannot thank you enough. Guest of honor, members of the Council of Ministers, I wish to appreciate in a special way the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of Zimbabwe, Honorable Ziyambi, for the unwavering support and guidance throughout the preparation of this event. On many occasions, I have had the opportunity to engage with Honorable Ziyambi. I'm grateful for his availability to ARIPO whenever we need his support. I would also like to express my gratitude to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of Zimbabwe, Mrs. Mabiza, for her tireless effort in ensuring that indeed Zimbabwe hosts this session successfully, including mobilization of resources, guidance, and wise counsel. My sincere gratitude also goes to the Chief Registrar of Companies and Intellectual Property of Zimbabwe, Mr. William Mushai, and his able team for preparing and organizing this event. I would like to thank him for the excellent preparation of this meeting, the hospitality accorded to the delegates since their arrival in this country. The team worked hand in glove with ARIPO to mount this feat of an event. Your Excellency, allow me to especially recognize and welcome the honorable ministers who came from the member states to attend this session. Your presence, especially during this period, is a testimony of your unwavering support and commitment to ARIPO, which is highly appreciated. With a remarkable degree, it is also my singular honor to welcome all delegates, members of the Administrative Council who have just concluded their 3-day session, the cooperating partners and intellectual property agents and attorneys who joined us during the session we concluded. We wish to thank you all for the commitment and continued support. You are indeed our all-weather friends. Your Excellency, the Council of Ministers, as the supreme governing body of ARIPO, has over the years provided guidance and direction to ARIPO Secretariat to work towards the development of a viable, relevant, and efficient IP system and regimes that are responsive to the aspirations and development needs of our people. The Council carries the heaviest responsibility of ensuring alignment of ARIPO member states' systems, frameworks, and processes with international standards and best practices. They commit national resources and ensure compliance in the global arena. And on behalf of the ARIPO Secretariat, I wish to express my gratitude to the Council of Ministers for the guidance provided to the organization and the support in its initiatives. We once again thank you and look forward to your deliberations and guidance during this 18th session. Your Excellency, distinguished members of the Council, I will have an opportunity to illustrate in detail the achievements of the organization in the last 2 years since we last met in Liberia in November 2019 and at the 17th session of this Council. I will present to you my report for the biennium 2020-2021. Nonetheless, allow me at this point to single out some of the achievements. Let me start with the growth in membership to ARIPO as well as to our protocols. We are pleased to welcome today the Republic of Mauritius and the Republic of Seychelles, who joined ARIPO in 2020 and 2021 respectively. We also wish to inform you that the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe ratified the Arusha Protocol on new plant varieties in 2020, while Mozambique and the Gambia joined the Banjul Protocol marks in 2020 and 2021, respectively. We have also focused on capacity building and awareness creation in member states. I wish to inform and mention that the Masters of Intellectual Property program that is currently developed in collaboration with the African University in Mutare, Zimbabwe, and the White Paul Academy with the support of Japan Funds in Trust is one of the efforts in capacity building that we have, and it is in its 14th consecutive year and has so far produced 396 graduates from 27 countries across Africa from its inception in 2008. Inspired by the success of the program at the Africa University in Mutare, Zimbabwe, ARIPO launched 2 similar programs at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology of Kumasi in Ghana, and in Tanzania, in collaboration with the University of Dar es Salaam in 2018 and 2019 respectively. This was done with a view to fast track the creation of the necessary skills for Africa to benefit more from IP system. Regarding our cooperation, I'm delighted to report to you that we have ignited a very important partnership known as the Africa Intellectual Property Rights and Innovation, AFRIPI. AFRIPI is an international cooperation project funded by the European Union and implemented by the European Union Intellectual Property Office, EUIPO. It has a duration of 5 years that started from February 2020. The overall objective of AFRIPI is to facilitate intra-Africa trade, which today stands at 16%. It specifically aims to support the creation, protection, utilization, administration, and enforcement of intellectual property rights across Africa. The project continues to support ARIPO activities and programs. The partnership has financed in part the diplomatic conference that was mentioned earlier that happened in Kampala and is supporting us even in the current engagement of the sessions of ARIPO. Your Excellency, also allow me to highlight a particular achievement we recorded this year in the implementation of the mandate of copyright that was given to ARIPO some years ago. On 28th August this year, at the conclusion of the diplomatic conference that was held in Kampala, Uganda, a protocol on voluntary registration of copyright and related rights, now known as the Kampala Protocol, was adopted. At this point, honorable members of the Council of Ministers, we come back before you to present the protocol and ask for the necessary support in terms of ratifications so that can already start firing the natural creativity of our continent. 9 ARIPO member states signed the protocol upon its adoption in Kampala, and I'm reliably informed that Zimbabwe, the Gambia, Namibia will be signing the protocol during this session. I also wish to inform you that the protocol remains open for signature until 28th February 2021. Your Excellency, members of the Council, finally, regarding the progress made towards the implementation of the Arusha Protocol and the protection of new varieties of plants, it is our hope that we will soon have 3 more ratification sessions required for the coming into force of the Arusha Protocol. Work is underway to promote it, and this protocol is of a particular significance and importance as it deals with agriculture, which is the mainstay of our lives and livelihoods. Members of the Council, as I conclude, I would like to recognize and welcome the high-level delegations, all the honorable ministers who came from our member states to attend this 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers. We know how busy you are, and your presence here is a strong signal again of your support and commitment to intellectual property. We are sincerely grateful to you. Let me express once again my most sincere appreciation to your Excellency. There is no better support of intellectual property than the support that you have offered to ARIPO. Encouraged by this support, therefore, we are committed to bring our organization to even greater heights. Thank you very much. I wish you a very, very fruitful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, distinguished delegates. That was the Director General of ARIPO. As we progress with our program during the 18th session of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO, allow me now, Your Excellency, to call upon the Minister, who is the current chairperson of the ARIPO Council of Ministers from Liberia, Your Excellency, this is the chairman of the Council of Ministers and Ministers of Industry and Commerce in Liberia, Honorable M.G. Diggs. You may be aware, Your Excellency, that Liberia presided over the successful virtual election and appointment of the Director General, the current Director in November 2020. It was during a virtual admin council. Also, the Kampala Protocol of ARIPO was signed during her tenure as the chair of the Council of Ministers. The Honorable Minister from Liberia is going to address us virtually. As we prepare for her coming, may I ask the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Band to give us a piece, but please, as soon as we are online, can you stop the performance?
Good morning.
Honorable Minister, you are online. Please carry on. We welcome you to this 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers here in Victoria Falls.
Thank you very much. To His Excellency Emerson Dambudzo Nagawa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the Minister of State of Nadiland, North Provincial Affairs, Honorable Cde Richard Moyo, the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Ziambi, Honorable Ministers of the Government of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Ministers of the ARIPO Member States, Permanent Secretary of the Republic of Zimbabwe, members of the Diplomatic Corps accredited to the Republic of Zimbabwe, accredited representatives of the governments of the member states of ARIPO, the chairperson of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, Mr. Willie Mushai, the Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bimanya Twabazi, members of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, distinguished representatives of governments of the observer states of ARIPO, distinguished representatives of our cooperating partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I have the pleasure and honor on behalf of the Council of Ministers of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO, to address you at this 18th session of the Council of Ministers taking place in Victoria Falls in the Republic of Zimbabwe. To start with, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our guest of honor, His Excellency Emerson Dambudzo Nagawa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, for making time to officiate the opening ceremony of this session. Your Excellency, your presence at this function is a mark of recognition of the role of ARIPO as a driver of the development of the intellectual property system in its member states and in Africa as a whole. I also wish to express the Council's utmost gratitude to you, Your Excellency, for having given special treatment to ARIPO by allowing the meetings of its governing bodies to proceed despite the restrictions necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Your Excellency, allow me to extend our deepest appreciation to Honorable Ziambi, Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of the Republic of Zimbabwe, for his availability and continued support to ARIPO. My word of gratitude also goes to the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Mabiza, for the efforts deployed in organizing this session, including mobilizing resources to ensure we have a successful event. I would also like to acknowledge the tremendous support rendered by the companies and Intellectual Property Office and officials from other departments of the government of Zimbabwe in supporting these arrangements. Although I was unable to travel to Victoria Falls, I am reliably informed that the delegates who are attending the event in person have been given warm hospitality and excellent facilities have been placed at their disposal for a comfortable stay in the beautiful city of Victoria Falls. Let me also take this opportunity to extend my appreciation to the Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bimanya Tobazi, and the dedicated staff of ARIPO for the outstanding work and arrangements made to ensure the success of this meeting. I wish to particularly commend Mr. Bimanya for his visionary leadership that I have no doubt will take our beloved organization to greater heights. Your Excellency, the Republic of Liberia has had the honor of chairing the Council of Ministers during the 2020-2021 biennium. The term for chairing the governing bodies of ARIPO is 2 years. I will therefore be relinquishing the chairmanship of the Council of Ministers during this session. It has been an honor and a rewarding experience for the Republic of Liberia to serve as chair of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO. I would like to thank member states of ARIPO for the honor and trust reposed on Liberia to serve as chair of our organization. Your Excellency, distinguished members of the Council of Ministers, as I will be handing over the chair shortly during this session, allow me to share a few thoughts. The Director General of ARIPO has, in his remarks, done an excellent job of highlighting the great progress that we have made in the last 2 years. I will therefore not repeat them. Allow me, however, to come back on the membership growth that was recorded by the organization. We are pleased to welcome today the Republic of Mauritius, who joined ARIPO in 2020. In equal measure, allow me to welcome the Republic of Seychelles, who has also become the 21st ARIPO member state in October of this year. Your Excellency, another remarkable achievement that I would like to highlight relates to the legal development in the organization. Less than 4 months ago, I was privileged to participate in the diplomatic conference for the adoption of the Protocol on Voluntary Registration of Copyrights and Related Rights. This conference took place in Kampala, Republic of Uganda. I am highlighting this specific event for 2 reasons. The resolution to have a diplomatic conference to adopt a protocol on voluntary registration of copyright was taken by the Council of Ministers of ARIPO in Liberia back in 2019. The Republic of Uganda subsequently offered to host the conference. Let me take this opportunity to express once again ARIPO's utmost gratitude to the government of Uganda for a successful conference, which adopted the protocol now known as the Kampala Protocol on Voluntary Registration of Copyrights and Related Rights. The second reason why I have to highlight this achievement is the importance of a protocol, especially for Africa. Our continent is a cradle of creativity, and through this protocol, we hope to harness the potential of our creative industries for our economy's growth and development. Copyright offers opportunities for securing the value created by our book authors, singers, filmmakers, computer programmers, and others in diverse industries, including publishing, music, software, arts and crafts, advertising, and broadcasting industries, among others. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to thank you once again for hosting ARIPO governing body session and your unwavering support to our organization. We remain indebted to you. Finally, I wish to say that it has been a privilege to serve ARIPO as the chairperson of its Council of Ministers. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all members of the Council of Ministers, members of the Administrative Council, and the ARIPO Secretariat for their support to the Republic of Liberia during the 2020-2021 biennium. ARIPO can count on Liberia's continued full and active participation. I would also like to express my gratitude to the cooperating partners for their continued support to ARIPO. Finally, I am proud of our achievements, and I express my sincere hope that my successor, who will take over the chair shortly, will do even better to bring ARIPO to greater heights. I thank you, and I wish all of us a fruitful deliberation.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guest of honor. That was the chairperson of ARIPO Council of Ministers, Honorable MG Diggs, addressing us from Liberia, from the beautiful country of Liberia. Your Excellency, in 2019, I was privileged to be representing my country in Liberia for the 17th session of Council of Ministers. Indeed, it's a beautiful country, and I'm still talking about my experiences from Liberia. Once again, let us give another round of applause. Thank you for the commitment to be online, to be joining us virtually, and highlighting a lot of achievements that have been made during the tenure of Liberia as the chair of the Council of Ministers. Thank you very much. And as we progress with our program, may I at this point in time once again ask the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service Band to give us a piece whilst the Honorable Minister of Justice prepares to come and make a few remarks. Okay, I'd called ZPCS, but the White Stars are here. Let them perform. Please go ahead. very much. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Your Excellency, our distinguished delegates, I wish to correct myself. I thought these were the White Stars who performed initially. It's actually the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service Traditional Dance Group. Thank you very much, the PCS, for such a wonderful performance. As we move on with our program during this 18th session of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO, I'm honored to call upon the Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Zimbabwe, to give us some few remarks and to also introduce to us our guest of honor. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, sir.
Thank you very much, our Director of Ceremonies, Mrs. Mabiza. I want to acknowledge you. The guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Munangagwa, the Chairman of the Council of Ministers and Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable M.G. Diggs, who just gave us an address. We want to thank you very much. Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Richard Moyo, the Mayor of Victoria Falls, His Worship Somvelo Dlamini, Cabinet Ministers of the Government of Zimbabwe here present. I saw Honorable Nuve, senior government officials here present, members of ARIPO Council of Ministers, the chairperson of the Administrative Council of ARIPO and Chief Registrar of Companies and Intellectual Property of Zimbabwe, Mr. Willie Mushanyi, the Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Twebaze Bemanya, members of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, representatives of the Observer States of ARIPO, representatives of our cooperating partners, members of the media here present, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, sir, the world of commerce is increasingly dominated by knowledge and skills, and the power of information is anchored in intellectual property. It is important that we develop policies and institutions that promote creativity and innovation. Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, prioritizes intellectual property as a tool for development and growth. To this extent, your cabinet took a decision in November this year to restructure the administration of the intellectual property in the country by the creation of the Companies and Intellectual Property Office as a semi-autonomous entity devoted to dealing with the administration and management of companies and intellectual property matters. This decision, Your Excellency, is for the immediate implementation, and restructuring to that effect is already underway as directed by you. The Intellectual Property Office is expected to streamline the process of registration of IP and use it to stimulate creativity and economic growth in general. Economic growth and development is a conscious decision, and all sectors must play their part. As the government of Zimbabwe, we believe that intellectual property should influence and promote investment and employment, hence the move by your cabinet to establish a semi-autonomous IP office in a bid to strengthen and enhance its effectiveness. ARIPO is a strategic partner, and Zimbabwe confirms its commitment to supporting and promoting the interests of ARIPO. Having said that, Your Excellency, I want to wish my fellow delegates fruitful deliberations throughout our meetings. And it is now my singular honor and privilege to introduce our guest of honor. Our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, is a rational person who is soft as wool. I say so because I have experienced his calmness even and when he's subjected to immense provocation. All he does is to smile and clap hands. Our guest of honor was born on the 15th of September in 1942 in Shabani, now Zimbabwe, to farmers, Mafidi and Munangagwa. And our guest of honor now affectionately calls himself a villager, but he is one of our prominent farmers. That shows his humbleness to call himself a villager when he is one of the leading farmers. His educational background: he started his elementary education in Shisharane at Lundi Primary School and resumed learning at Mayoyo School in Mumbwa, Zambia, after his family was forced to relocate to Northern Rhodesia, now Zambia, as it was then, following Mafidi, that is his father's political activity. You know, his father was very alive to his rights, and they decided to send him packing and chased him from his own country. You can almost see where our guest of honor got his political characteristics from. He then attended Mumbwa boarding school for standard 4 to 6 and Kafue trade school from 1958 to 59, where he undertook a building course. Despite the course being a 3-year course, His Excellency, who is our guest of honor, left and enrolled at Hodgson Technical College for an industrial building program. It was whilst he was at Hodgson that he became politically active, joined UNIP, and this led to his expulsion in 1960. His political experience. His Excellency's political career is one that spans way back to his days in tertiary education, tertiary school-wise in Zambia, to his activities with the crocodile gang that led to his incarceration. It is whilst he was in prison that he befriended the late president of Zimbabwe, Comrade Robert Mugabe, and began studying law through correspondence with the University of London. After he was deported in 1975, he completed his Bachelor of Laws degree with the University of Zambia. He then did his articles in Ete Lusaka law firm led by the now late Enoch Dumbuchena and was admitted to the Zambian bar in 1976. Since the attainment of independence, His Excellency the President has held several positions in government as a legislator, including being the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs on 2 separate accounts from 1988 to the year 2000 and from 2013 to the year 2017. In fact, he is the longest serving justice minister in Zimbabwe. And he also held other portfolios such as the Minister of Defense and Minister of Finance at some point, as well as being the Speaker of Parliament. In 2014, he was appointed Vice President of Zimbabwe, but he continued with his responsibilities administering the Minister of Justice as the minister until 2017. It was during his tenure that the Zimbabwe Intellectual Property Policy and Implementation Strategy was developed and launched. Under his able leadership in September 2019, Zimbabwe ratified both the Marrakesh Treaty and the Beijing Treaty. I would not do justice if I do not emphasize the fact that the president is an avid lawyer who has the protection of intellectual property rights at his heart. Our guest of honor is currently leading in the protection and development of intellectual property rights as head of the Second Republic, who is driving innovation at every high level in the tertiary sphere. He has created an environment that is conducive to creativity, innovation, invention, and under his stewardship, our universities and institutions of higher learning have been able to register more than 25 patents through their innovation hubs and Education 5.0 that seeks to go beyond and industrialize Zimbabwe through innovation. Our guest of honor's cabinet on the 9th of November 2021 took a decision to create Companies and Intellectual Property Office as a semi-autonomous entity separate from the Deeds Office to focus on the administration of companies and intellectual property issues. Our guest of honor is championing young talent in IP with a view to raising an upper middle income society. He is our IP rights champion. Our guest of honor is a great friend of ARIPO, leading from the front line back in 2015 when he was still the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, defending the organization following the threat that was posed by the formation of PAIPO. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this juncture to call upon our guest of honor to address delegates here present. Your Excellency, sir, I thank you.
May you be seated. Our Director of Ceremonies, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Matabeleland Province, Honorable Richard Moyo, the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, members of the ARIPO Council of Ministers, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers who may be here, senior government officials, His Worship the Mayor of Victoria Falls, Councillor Lamini, the Chairman of the ARIPO Administrative Council, Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Vaze Bemanya, the representative of ARIPO and the World Intellectual Property Organization, members of Diplomatic Corps, if any, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and privilege to address you all at this official opening ceremony of the 18th session of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization's Council of Ministers, which is being held in this beautiful resort city of Victoria Falls, known locally as Monsieur Tunya, the smoke that thunders. On behalf of the government of Zimbabwe, and indeed on my own behalf, I extend a hearty welcome to you all. We thank you for attending this important event, which is convening in Zimbabwe for the first time. Your attendance is greatly appreciated, especially given the ongoing health risks associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Distinguished guests, intellectual property is a critical driver for the trade and socio-economic development of any nation. It drives economic growth and competitiveness through encouraging innovation, whilst at the same time protecting consumers by ensuring the purchase of secure and assured goods. In order to strike the right balance between the interests of innovators and the wider public interest, organizations such as the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO,
promote and protect intellectual property by enhancing cooperation amongst member states, as well as international intellectual property organizations. Being a great advocate of intellectual property, I was pleased, therefore, to receive an invitation to attend this ARIPO Council of Ministers meeting. The event allows me to aid my voice in support of the ongoing creativity and innovation drive within our great continent of Africa. Africa will not mourn about the lost opportunities during the previous industrial revolutions and colonialism. We cannot change the past. The future is in our hands today. Africa is rising, and our time is now. Through organizations such as ARIPO, we must, therefore, create an enabling intellectual environment to bridge the socio-economic divide that exists between our continent and the rest of the developed world. The present generation of African leaders is determined to ensure that Africa plays its part and seizes the opportunities emanating from the advent of the fourth industrial revolution. This entails that we be better prepared to leapfrog and compete with other developed jurisdictions. To this end, it is imperative that we build ecosystems and structures that fully support creativity and innovation in our schools, institutions of higher learning, industry, and within communities in general. This is more urgent given that today's dynamic world depends not only on the traditional factors of production, such as land, labor, and capital, but also on science, technical know-how, innovation, and the business skills, among other considerations. Further to this, the present threats of global pandemics and the climate change-related challenges, among others, demand that Africa develops new capabilities and assets its intellectual property rights over the same. As African policymakers, we have a duty to make intellectual property accelerate the growth of our economies. The benefits of intellectual property must be accessible to ordinary entrepreneurs and communities as they innovate around our current realities, leveraging on the abundant and unique natural resources endowed on our continent, Africa. ARIPO is challenged to develop measures that mitigate the risks associated with a globalized world, connected digital landscape, and the fourth industrial revolution. As African leaders at various levels, we have the sacred obligation to be more assertive in protecting our unique creativity, innovations, and a rich cultural heritage. This forum must therefore be used to sharpen the collective focus with regards to intellectual property so that our people, especially the young, the youth, effectively grow and transform our economies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that in Zimbabwe, my government took a decision to create Companies and Intellectual Property Office. The mandate of this office includes registration and administration of companies and intellectual property in Zimbabwe. The new office will redefine the way intellectual property issues are administered. It will further mainstream the usage of intellectual property rights to positively impact our economy and stimulate the development of new products and services for our nation. To date, my government has also implemented the Heritage-Based Education 5.0 model, which has reconfigured our education system to focus on one, science, technology, innovation, and industrialization. This model is enhancing scientific and technological capabilities to accelerate the modernization and industrialization of our economy. The ultimate objective is to move away from a consumptive system to a more productive system that delivers high quality and modern, made in Africa goods and services. This, together with innovation hubs established at institutions of higher learning, as well as the rural industry systems being set up by my government, will lead to increased creativity, technological advancement, modernization, and industrialization, which leaves no one and no place behind. These initiatives are unleashing the potential talents of our youth so that they play their part towards providing solutions for enhancing production and productivity. I therefore call upon the younger generation to fully utilize the enabling environment being created by African governments through organizations such as ARIPO to develop more creative ideas and products that will propel our continent towards the realization of the Africa we all want. Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding the negative effects of COVID-19 pandemic, the pandemic has brought about a new normal, which has changed the way we do things. I'm informed that ARIPO has continued to carry out its mandate throughout this period, taking advantage of ICT solutions. I commend you for embracing technology as well as automation of office systems and processes. Going forward, I exhort ARIPO to consolidate the capacities within different jurisdictions for seamless interconnectedness, more so in the context of the African Continental Free Trade Area and our collective quest to build a knowledge economy. In this part, my government, together with fellow member states, will continue to support ARIPO. Zimbabwe, as the host nation of ARIPO, stands ready to facilitate the growth and the impact of this organization. Recently, I had an insightful conversation with ARIPO Director General, Mr. Manya, where I reiterated my government's commitment to remain open for dialogue and engagement towards advancing the noble objectives of this organization, which is our institution. Meanwhile, I urge you to take time off your busy schedule to visit the majestic Victoria Falls and other tourist facilities in and around the city of Victoria Falls. It is called Victoria Falls because if we call it the correct name, no one will know what we are talking about. Because when a gentleman called David Livingstone under Queen Victoria visited our country, our humble and the friendly people showed this gentleman our Mosio Tunya. And he then named it after his queen. And up to today, to attract more visitors, we use that name. With these remarks, it is now my singular honor to declare this 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers officially opened and to wish you all fruitful deliberations. Please stay safe and remember to mask up and to sanitize. God bless you all. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We may be seated. Yes, thank you, Excellency. And now the 18th session of the Council of ARIPO Ministers is officially opened. As we move towards the end of our program, may I now once again call upon the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service to give us a song. And it is during this time that we prepare for the next agenda item, which is the presentation of certificates and gifts. Just a short presentation, ZPCS. Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services, our multi-talented Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services officers. Thank you once again. At this point in time, we witness the next phase. This is the phase where we make certain presentations, including gifts and certificates. But before we talk about the gifts, let me say, as the Minister of Justice, as the ministry responsible for intellectual property here in Zimbabwe, We also realize and agree that protection from abuse of famous names by product promoters and unscrupulous business persons, name squatting online on social media, interfering with the legitimate use of names, signature and initials by famous persons can be a menace. However, using intellectual property, this can be easily controlled using such tools as trademarks. The owner of the intellectual property can then have the freedom to license specific persons, institutions, and so forth to reproduce the products bearing their name, their signature of initials, either on free license or for agreed royalty return. Happens a lot of times. You may wonder what I'm talking about, and in the Zimbabwean context, we know our guest of honor, the president. There's so many phrases attached to his name. Here in Zimbabwe, we say EDP. That's a statement that is related to His Excellency, a statement that is potentially capable of being protected, and so many other examples, and we know how famous people can be manipulated. So today, we are going to witness the presentation of trademark certificates to His Excellency in 9 categories. I'll call upon the Chief Registrar of Companies, Mr. Mshai, as the Director General of ARIPO also prepares to make his presentation of gifts to His Excellency, the President. Mr. Mshai, just let me know if you're ready. Your Excellency, we are about to present to you. You may elect to remain where you are or to come down. Yes. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished delegates, it is during this 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers that we shall witness the presentation of trademarks to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I now hereby call upon the Chief Registrar of Companies and Intellectual Property to make the presentation and perhaps describing what it is.
Thank you for affording us the opportunity to, this is the trademark of your signature. It's protected in class 9. It's also protected in class 14. It's protected in class 25, and it's also protected in class 35. This is to ring-fence it from unscrupulous business people who might want to use your signature without your authority. I am wearing your signature with your authority.
Thank you very much. That is a presentation of the first trademark, which is the signature for His Excellency, which we can now elect to license any other entity, organization, individual to reproduce. So the famous signature is hereby protected as a trademark. Thank you very much. Yes. The second trademark that we witness here is the name, his surname Munangagwa. It's another trademark which is also capable of being manipulated, just like any other famous person can be manipulated, falsified, and so forth, especially on social media. The second trademark is hereby presented to you, Your Excellency. Yes, the list goes on. The initials are also protected. The ED. The reason why we protect such names, such phrases, such gadgets is to try and protect the owner, the originator, the creator of such items. In turn, the owner can also earn royalties out of his signature, out of his creation, and out of his items. So we have different classes in terms of the Trademark Act.
The rings, the brooches, key rings, and everything. So anyone wishing to use the product, yes,
His Excellency is allowed to license any company, organization of his choice to reproduce his signature.
pamphlets and everything. They have used it without you also accept assets, copies of the same, but also protecting this one is for public. Same applies to this one. Yes, so this one also is the full name. And any variation of the same, they have to see what they do. Choose the brief of the royalty. Yes.
Your Excellency, if you remember, one time we visited your office and you signed a book which you gave to ZIPO. That one is the first article to be registered as a copyright under our office. So we have recorded it as #1. So it's also testimony to our commitment, even to the Kampala Protocol. Before we have even signed it, we are already actioning it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You may take your seat. Thank you. That was the presentation of trademarks to His Excellency on this occasion of the 18th session of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO. We move on with our program as we conclude. I'd like to call upon the distinguished delegate from the Gambia to give us a vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Honorable Minister Zaimbi, the Minister of Council of Ministers, members of the Council of Ministers. I have the privilege and great honor to speak on behalf of the members of the ARIPO Council of Ministers to express our utmost gratitude to His Excellency Emerson Munangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the great people of this beautiful country for hosting us here in Victoria Falls. Your Excellency, we travel from all the corners of Africa to come to this meeting because you personally decided that this event will proceed as planned. We are aware that some countries are shutting doors to this region, but allow me to say without reservation that there is no better place to be. Thank you immensely, Your Excellency, for the warm welcome and hospitality and the great facilities that we have put at our disposal to ensure we combine the pleasure and the useful. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, and the great people of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister from the Gambia, for the vote of thanks. However, Your Excellency, kindly bear with me. Initially, I'd announced that there were two presentations, the certificates and the gifts. May I now ask the DG from ARIPO to present his gift to His Excellency, the President. You may receive it from where you are, Your Excellency.
so that the media can capture it together.
Okay. Huh? Later. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. We can hold it, raise it, raise it. Raise it, come. Yeah. Raise it, come. Okay. Okay. Your Excellency, I have the great honor to present this gift on behalf of ARIPO. This gift depicts the inauguration of the offices of ARIPO, at which you officiated as the guest of honor on 9th December 2016. Today is 9th December 2016. Your Excellency, you are again with the ARIPO family. Kindly accept this humble gift from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ARIPO. Another round of applause. It is indeed a brilliant piece of art showing His Excellency the President opening ARIPO, the new building of ARIPO. I was also there, Your Excellency. I am very proud to associate. I wish my image had also somehow been put on that. Thank you very much, and Your Excellency, the vote of thanks has already been made, but I also want to personally thank you for gracing this very important occasion. I'd also like to thank all those that have been in attendance, those that have been contributing in one way or another, particularly to acknowledge those that were participating online. I know there are quite a number of delegates who are with us online. Thank you very much. Your contributions are not for granted. We welcome you once again to the 18th session of the ARIPO Council of Ministers. As we come to the end of our program, Your Excellency, we are going to have a photo session. The photo session is going to be conducted by the entrance of this hotel. So we will now kindly ask the high table to exit the room whilst the rest of the delegates remain seated. And then we shall follow in a guided order leading to the entrance of this hotel, where we are going to have our official photographers taking pictures. Thank you, Excellency. Our program ends here.
How this work?